Recording in progress.
Hola, soy Mirela Santa Cruz, comunicadora en imagen empresarial de la Universidad Peruana de Ciencias Aplicadas. Tengo 26 años y desde el 2018 radico en Concepción, Chile. Trabajo en la empresa RH Seguridad como jefa corporativa de gestión de personas, comunicaciones y responsabilidad social. Pero se preguntarán, ¿cómo llegué aquí? Vengan conmigo y les cuento. Ser comunicador en imagen empresarial es ser apasionado, estratégico y holístico. Somos personas empáticas por naturaleza. Nuestro trabajo es poder llegar a las personas y lograr no solo que decodifiquen un mensaje, sino que se identifiquen con él y lo puedan transmitir correctamente. Desde nuestra profesión podemos crear valor, desarrollar e impactar en el mundo, haciendo que las empresas se vuelvan más responsables con las personas, el medio ambiente y su entorno. Me gradué en el 2016 y desde entonces no he dejado de moverme. Como complemento a la UPC, tuve la oportunidad de estudiar y trabajar en Brasil, México y Chile. Y con mucho orgullo les puedo decir que en el Perú llevamos un paso adelante en comunicación e imagen empresarial. En el 2015 ingresé a trabajar a la muy conocida empresa de seguridad Liderman como trainee de comunicaciones. Aprendí mucho y ese fue el inicio de mi desarrollo en este rubro. En el 2016 viajé a México para estudiar una maestría y tuve la oportunidad de trabajar en Grupo UPC como gerente de desarrollo organizacional y responsabilidad social. En el 2018 me contactaron de la empresa RH Seguridad para desarrollarme en el cargo que actualmente tengo. Y desde entonces vivo aquí, en Concepción, Chile. En RH Seguridad, el primer en imagen empresarial fue identificar, desarrollar y transformar una cultura organizacional que pudiera llegar a cada uno de nuestros públicos. Es así que entre los años 2018 y 2019 trabajamos reinventándonos, creando una cultura organizacional más sólida y potente con cercanía a nuestra gente. Este cambio inicia con una nueva imagen. Del lado izquierdo tenemos el logotipo de una típica empresa de seguridad que transmite seriedad. Y del lado derecho tenemos un logotipo diferente que transmite libertad, felicidad y cercanía. Esta nueva imagen debíamos transformarla en acciones concretas. Por eso, desarrollamos actividades de bienestar orientadas a las necesidades de nuestros colaboradores, involucrando a sus familias. Creamos una carrera profesional RH+, que les diera la oportunidad de iniciar como guardias de seguridad y llegar a ser supervisores. Creamos talleres de habilidades blandas que hoy nos permiten llegar con nuestra cultura RH+, a cada uno de nuestros clientes. Y desarrollamos canales de comunicación que nos permiten transmitir la cultura RH+, y conectar con cada uno de nuestros públicos. Decidimos mantener nuestra cercanía, aún con el distanciamiento social. Cambiamos nuestros abrazos RH+, por saludos con los codos. Cambiamos nuestros tradicionales desayunos por presentes de cumpleaños en sus puestos de trabajo. Cambiamos casi todos nuestros programas de bienestar, pero lo que nunca cambiamos ni cambiaremos es estar con ellos y para ellos.
Hola a todos, bienvenidos a nuestra segunda charla de Imagen Week. Gracias a todos por estar. Dani, muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros, por acompañarnos y compartir tu experiencia tan hermosa que tienes. Ahora te voy a presentar a Abril Aguilar, estudiante de tercer ciclo, que nos va a presentar tu biografía. Bienvenidos todos. Esta charla va a ser en inglés, mitad en español, o sea que Dani entiende español bastante. Y bueno, esperemos que les pueda gustar. Nos va a contar su experiencia en una organización muy linda que se llama Peruvian Hearts. Abril.
Ok, buenos días a todos. Voy a introducir brevemente a Dani. We are pleased to introduce Danny Dodson. He's a passionate and accomplished leader in nonprofit management with an outstanding track record in organizational leadership and impactful social development initiatives. Since 2007, Danny has served as the executive director of Peruvian Hearts, which is a nonprofit organization focused on empowering and educating girls in vulnerable communities in Peru. He oversees the daily operations of the organization in the United States, and he works closely with the Peruvian team on a day-to-day basis. Danny travels to Peru regularly to monitor project progress and also to evaluate impact and host visiting groups and supporters. Danny joined the Peruvian Hearts team in 2006, driven by a deep belief that educating and empowering girls is essential to eradicating poverty and creating a more peaceful and just world. Under his leadership, the organization has strengthened its programs and expanded its outreach, always maintaining a strong focus on community-based change and sustainable development. He holds a BA in economics from Bates College, and he resides in Evergreen, Colorado, where he is also an honorary member of the Evergreen Rotary Club. Before his work with Peruvian Hearts, Danny also spent 10 years as a legal assistant at Dodson and Associates PC, specializing in financial analysis, asset tracing, and litigation support. He also worked as an assistant golf coach at Colorado Academy, highlighting his dedication to mentoring youth and fostering leadership through sports. Danny's career brings together strategic vision, cross-cultural collaboration, and a heartfelt commitment to equity and education. And today he joins us at Imagen Week, Volume 14, to share his valuable insights on transformational leadership, nonprofit development, and the power of education to change lives. Let's everyone give a warm welcome to Danny Dodson.
Thank you, April. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's a pleasure for me to be here today. Claudia, thank you very much. Roxana, thank you as well. It's to be able to join all of you, communicators and future professionals in communication. I want to talk about the importance of what you're studying and the career that you're studying and the power you have with this career to make a real impact in the world. So again, I just want to say thank you so much. And I know that behind every single screen connected, even though I don't see your faces, I know there is a real person behind that screen, and in all of the classrooms, I know there are a lot of students who are now listening. And so I just want to honor you and acknowledge your presence and say thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you for connecting today, literally connecting online and learning about the art of connection. So I am excited to talk with you today about exactly that, how we move from just communicating to actually making a real connection. And I think as future communicators in Peru, this is going to be key. It's going to be a vital part of your success as a professional and also in your personal lives. Connection is the most important way of creating trust and creating bonds, strong bonds in relationships that we can build on. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me today. I want to just share some ideas with you. I am by no means an expert. I am not an expert. The more I learn about connection and communication, the more I realize there's a lot I don't know, and I need to continue learning every day in order to try to become a better communicator and a better connector. So I want to just share time with all of you today, and I want to learn with you all and grow with you all. This, for me, this is also growth. I am trying to become a better connector. And so my goal today is to be able to add value to your life. I just hope that I don't expect you to remember everything I say, but if you can take away one thing that's important to you, and if you can reflect on how what I say today, the ideas that I share with you today, if you can reflect personally on how you interpret these ideas, how do you put into practice the principles about connection that I'm going to talk about. And some of you are going to be better at some things than others, and others will have, and some people will have opportunities to improve in many areas. So I'm excited. Again, I'm really excited to actually share a little bit of time with you and to talk about the art of connection. So with that, I want to just say my name is Danny Dodson, as you heard from April and Claudia. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I'm the executive director, as you heard, of Peruvian Hearts, and Peruvian Hearts is a nonprofit organization that was started by my younger sister Anna when Anna was just 11 years old. And my little sister Anna was actually adopted from Cusco, Peru, 33 years ago. So when I was just 9 years old, I lived in Peru during the adoption of my little sister, and I was able to learn about the culture and the people and all of the richness of Peru, and to be able to come back home and live with my family in Colorado, a small family in Colorado. It was a really eye-opening experience for me, like something I had never experienced. And when Anna came back for the first time to Peru to visit her birth country in her heritage, her culture with our mom, they visited an orphanage outside of Cusco, and they were Anna, this young 11-year-old girl, was very moved by her experience. Her heart was touched by the young girls she met in this orphanage, this hogar. And so Anna wanted to do something to help these girls dream the way Anna could dream growing up in Colorado with a good education and a loving family. She wanted to give these younger girls opportunity. So she went back to Colorado, and with the support of my father, who is a lawyer, and my mother, who is a teacher, they started Peruvian Hearts as a real nonprofit organization in Colorado. And this was in 2003, 22 years ago. And in 2007, Anna, her story having inspired a lot of people, Anna was recognized by the channel CNN, and she, as one of 10 people in the United States who was changing the world. And so CNN came down and filmed a commercial and went back to Colorado, filmed Anna and filmed Peruvian Hearts, and went back to Colorado and played this commercial. And we didn't even have a website. Peruvian Hearts did not even have a website. All we had was an email address. And all of a sudden, we got hundreds and hundreds of emails of how can we help? We want to donate. What can we do? We want to support you. And here we didn't even have a website. So we started answering emails. And this was the moment when in my life, I had been working as a legal assistant for my father. And this was the moment where I could actually begin working for Peruvian Hearts and start focusing on raising money and connecting with people to help support this cause. And ever since 2007, it's now been almost 18 years, I have been working for Peruvian Hearts, trying to support young women in Peru to become not only educated, but empowered. We work to support young women leaders who want to change the world, starting with their families and their communities in Peru, and then beyond. Okay, so now that you have a little bit of background on Peruvian Hearts and what we're doing, I want to talk to you literally about the five really important principles for connecting. Okay, and I'm gonna as I talk about these principles, I'll also go back to Peruvian Hearts and relate just a little bit so that you can understand. And just so you have a visual, I just want you to think about the young women in this photo are some of the scholars that we support in Peruvian Hearts. And this is our apartment in Cusco, where the young women can come and study, where we host volunteers. And these are the young women that I work to support every day. Mi propósito, right? My purpose is to support these young women so that they can go out and pay it forward. I want them to make an impact in the world as well. So we have a team on the ground here in Cusco, where I am right now, that works every day to support these young women. We have a psychologist, we have an academic advisor, we have a coach, and we provide mentorship and opportunities for empowerment to all of these young women on a daily basis. So just so you have a visual, this is what Peruvian Hearts looks like some of the time, okay? Now, I want to talk to you. Let's get down to work. I want to talk to you about the 5 principles of connection, okay? And then after I talk about the principles of connection, I also want to talk to you just briefly about a few actions we can take in our daily lives to support our growth in this area. I think it's really important that we don't only think about what I'm saying, the principles, the importance of these, but we actually put it into practice. It's so important that we use what we learn in order to not only just to retain it for ourselves, but to really understand at a deep intellectual level and be able to share with others. Again, as future communicators in Peru, you have a lot of power to make an impact in the world. And the way you're going to do that is through connecting with other people, but not just communicating, actually connecting. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. I want to say, and feel free, please, if you have anything that you want to add to the chat, feel free to write at any time, questions or comments, anything that you want to put in. I welcome your comments all the time. And at the end, we can do some questions. I'd be happy to answer questions as well. So I just want to reiterate that. Okay, are you ready? And feel free to write these down if you want. I think it's really not a bad idea. The first principle of connection is about others. This is all about other people. Okay, this is not about you. This is not about your message. This is about other people. This is about the perspectives that they have. This is about their fears, their values, their culture, everything, their world. This is about them. So I want you to think about when you're transmitting your message, when you're trying to connect with somebody or communicate with someone, are you focused more on your own message, or are you actually focusing on the needs of the people you're trying to connect with? It's such an important difference, and I want you to think about it. Take a minute right now and just think. What do you prefer to focus on? Do you think about the way you're going to say it and all the words that you're saying, and I don't want to forget these things? Or are you thinking about the people you're talking to? That behind a screen, if you're meeting virtually, there's actually a person. Or if you're meeting in person, are you thinking about the other person's perspective? Okay, it's so important that when you're doing this, I don't want you to miss this. All right, you have to literally shift your focus from yourself to others. Okay, when I am fundraising for Peruvian Hearts, and I'm thinking about the young women that we support in Cusco, as much as I love supporting these young girls, I have to think about the other person I'm speaking to. I need to think about what are their interests? Do they like women's empowerment? Do they like Peru? Do they like education? Or do they prefer something else? Do they prefer cancer research? Or do they prefer to donate to the art museum? I have to find out what are their interests? What are their passions? And only then, only once I know what these people are thinking, a little bit more about them and their values, only then can I actually ask for a donation or an investment in Peruvian Hearts and the young women we support. It's gonna, if they do not have if they do not feel a connection to the work in Peru, it's going to be difficult to ask for an investment. So I need to find a way to create a connection. Maybe that's through personal similarities that I have with that individual, or maybe it's a shared experience that we have, and using these opportunities, finding out what it is that the others like is vital when you're trying to get your message across. When you, for example, let's say you're working in a group project in university, when you meet with your group, are you the first one to explain your ideas? Or do you prefer to get to listen to others first? Which, as a leader, I love to share my ideas. I love to be the first, but I've learned that it's not always best to just share your ideas. In fact, you can be a leader and ask questions to the others to engage other people. So when you ask your group, oh wow, this is an amazing topic, please, I would love if you just tell me your initial opinion on this. I would appreciate your opinion. Showing this empathy toward your group members, engaging them and letting them know you value what they're going to say is so important in making this connection. It's going to deepen your connections immediately. Your teamwork will go easier and be better. It's going to be really, really amazing, but you have to shift your focus. This is about other people to create the connection. I want to think about if you're trying to recruit tourism, sustainable tourism to Cusco, okay? And we want to bring more tourists to Cusco, where we know Cusco depends so heavily on tourism. What let's think about a campaign maybe that would not connect. So if you want to talk about sustainable tourism, maybe you just list some tourist attractions. You go to Machu Picchu, you see some ruins, there are the markets. You're just communicating information when you list attractions. But if you want to create a campaign on sustainable tourism in Peru, in Cusco, in the Sacred Valley that actually connects with people, then maybe you need to use some visuals. Maybe you need to show pictures of the local Quechua communities and the weavers who are making their handicrafts. You know, their beautiful weavings. Maybe it's talking about how respecting these local communities and honoring their traditions, and by bringing in tourism, you can help increase their income. That they can sell products. The ways that sustainable tourism could benefit these communities is a way that you're going to be able to create a message that resonates with others, rather than just listing the places to visit. Do you get this? Do you understand? So this is about shifting your focus to other people and their perspective, the way they are going to receive your message. Your message is important, absolutely. But even more important is the way people are going to hear your message and feel your message and see it. Okay? So that is the first principle. Any questions, any comments? Right? This is about others. Connection, creating real connection is about shifting your focus to other people. Okay? I want to go on to the second principle. Okay? Number 2, write it down. Feel free to write it down, please. Connecting goes beyond words. Okay? This is more than just vocabulary. Connection goes beyond words. Okay? This is about your tone. This is about your body language. When you communicate with others, are you aware of the tone that you're using? Are you aware of your hand gestures, your movements, the way you carry your body, your posture? This is all very, very important when you're trying to create real connection. And I would just say the most important out of all of this is being authentic, being yourself. This is more than just words. Again, I have a message to share with you today. Yes, I think connection is very important, but even more important, I just want to share time with you all. I'm trying to add value to you. I'm just trying to be myself. I don't see myself as a public speaker. I'm just a guy. I'm just a person. I'm one more human being on the world. And I'm just trying to add value. And if you can, if you can take away just one thing today that's of value to you and you can put into your life, I'll feel happy. I'll feel like my life has purpose. Como mi vida tiene propósito. That's a powerful thing. So I want you to do the same thing. Try to take away something that personal today, something that you can apply to your life. All right, it goes beyond words. This is about body language. I hope that while I'm communicating with you all, I hope not only that I can connect, but through my connection, you feel my passion. I am passionate about helping others. Having the opportunity to share with you right now, for me, it's an amazing opportunity. What a joy to be able to add value to so many people's lives at one time. That's incredible. So I also want you to think about when you're in Peru. I love coming to South America. I love coming to Peru. And when I arrive, I'm greeted so warmly. I get a kiss on the cheek and a hug. You know, it's so caring. Instantly, there's connection. Instantly. That is the body language. Those are the gestures, the local customs and tradition. It's very different from the United States where you stick your hand out, oh, nice to meet you. It's different. So creating that connection depends on where you are and the culture you are in. You need to work harder in the United States, to create this connection. Whereas in Peru, immediately there's a feeling of intimacy when you meet someone, a feeling of closeness. It's a beautiful thing. It's really amazing. I also, if you think about two different tour guides, okay, one in the Sacred Valley, giving a tour of the Sacred Valley and all the Incan cities, and a tour guide in the capital of Lima, in Lima, in the Plaza de Armas in Lima. Okay, and just imagine that the tour guide in the Sacred Valley remembers all of the important dates, right? He remembers all of the facts about Ollantaytambo, and he can tell you everything. And even though he speaks in a monotone a tone, he's a tour guide and he shares with people, and and he continues the tour, and yeah, right? Boring. No one who wants to be on that tour. No one. Right? What happens if you're meeting online? What happens? This is what happens. All right? You turn off the camera because you're bored. No one wants to be present. You're not engaged. All right? This is about engagement. This is about being present. Okay? This is about showing you care. Right? This is important. It's so important. And if the tour guide in Lima, in the Plaza de Armas, maybe he doesn't remember all of the dates. Maybe he doesn't remember all of the facts. But when he speaks with passion. When he points out interesting, details on the tour. He doesn't need to remember all of the facts. The way he interacts with the people on the tour is much more engaging. Okay? That is what is so important here. It's his tone, it's his posture, it's his hand gestures. That is the way you create connection. Okay? So does that make sense to everybody? Right? This is about more than just words. Okay? This is about others, and it goes beyond words. Okay? When I was in high school, I was the captain of my golf team. As Abril said earlier, I played sports. I loved sports. And I loved golf. And you know what? I was selected to be the captain, but I was bad at golf. I was not good. And why did they select me then to be the captain? I'll tell you. It's because I knew how to connect with the other teammates. I lifted other players up. I made them feel better about themselves. I didn't bring people down, right? When I'm an elevator, I bring people up. That's what I do. I am a plus in people's life. I am not a minus, right? I need to be a positive influence in the lives of other people. So I just want to show you. I hope you can feel what I'm saying. I hope you can feel the energy and how important this connection is. If again, for all of you who are studying a profession where connection is going to play such an important role in your careers, Now is the time to start practicing, right? This is the moment. And I'm sure all of you are already good at connecting. You have your strengths, and maybe there are a few areas of opportunity, so those are the areas where you want to continue practicing. Okay, let's move on to the third principle. Are you ready? All right. It requires energy. Connection always requires energy. You cannot connect and be passive, right? This is about being intentional. It's about putting in effort. All right. Again, you need to be engaged. You need to be present. This is showing your interest in others. This is being empathetic, right? This is about finding a way to have people feel what you're expressing. Okay, it's so important not to just listen and not to just hear the words, but to actually create a feeling inside. When you create a feeling, when you can connect on an emotional level, there's literally an energy that is created. It's a physical energy, and you can create that. I'm sure those who have connected with people before understand that the energy is real. That feeling inside you is not fake. That's a real connection. So it's so important that when you're trying to, inject energy into your presentation, that you're authentic about it. You don't want to be overly animated and no, that's not the idea. This is about being authentic. Okay. So quickly, when I was in my last class, my last political science class of university at Bates College, I had a teacher, a professor, Bill Corlett was his name. And in my second to last class, Professor Corlett told all of the students, okay, class, tomorrow we are going to meet at the very top level of this building in a room we had never been in. It was exciting. We were excited to go in this private room that was always locked. We did not know what was inside. And he said, and I want you tomorrow when you come to class, I want you to bring sunglasses. And we thought, what? Sunglasses? Why are we going to need sunglasses for class? So anyway, the next day we go to class, we all show up, and we go upstairs to the top level of Pettingill Hall, the building where we were studying. And our teacher opens the door and we all walk in and we sit down at the tables. And Professor Corlett says, okay, time to put on your sunglasses. You are now going to see the light. So here we are. We put on our sunglasses, and here we sat in class learning about political science, and what was so amazing, Professor Corlett was a genius, right? He was brilliant. The way he did this, the way philosophically, metaphorically, now we were going to understand. We were going to have this deep understanding finally after having studied all semester, right? Now, it's kind of silly to put on sunglasses when you're in class. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really make much sense. But what does make sense is the way Professor Corlett used this idea, this example, to connect with his students, right? He created a connection that was so profound that 20 years later, I talk about that class, right? That is a real connection. That is someone who knows it is to just sit and give a PowerPoint is boring, right? What is it? Oh yeah, right? Boring. No one wants to sit through the PowerPoint, right? It's boring. We want to connect. We want to feel your passion, right? That's what this is about. This is about having energy. This is about being true to yourself, right? True to your audience. This is about having an authentic message to give and being passionate. Okay, can you remember one time when you were in the university and you were disengaged from a speaker, a professor, or someone who was just communicating but not connecting, right? We've all experienced this. We've all experienced it. maybe me even more than others. I've experienced it a lot. And I think it's so important to learn from that opportunity, from that experience. You can learn, this is not the way I want to connect. You can find a more authentic, a deeper way to connect. So it's so important. I want you, when you are thinking about, when you're in classes and in studying communications, you need to be engaged as much as possible. And you need to learn, you need to observe the people from whom you're learning, right? It's so wonderful. They are examples for us. And the ways you see, to connect with people, use them, put them into practice, right? That's what this is about. Okay. Maybe you'll remember, oh yeah, that guy, I don't remember his name, but he put on the sunglasses and he was so authentic. Man, that was awesome. That's what I want. I don't need you to remember my name. I just want to add value to your life. I just want you to be able to go out and make an impact in the world. Okay? That's what this is about. I want to move on. I want to talk to you about another principle. Okay? The fourth principle, connection is more skill than natural talent. Okay, I'll repeat that. Connection is more skill, es más habilidad que talento natural. Right? That's what this is about. This is about practicing. This is about knowing yourself. At the beginning today, when we connected, I asked you to try to listen to what I say today and put it in your own experience. What have you experienced? What are your strengths? Right? That's what this is about. No one is born knowing how to connect. You're just not, right? There are so many people in the world and so many different cultures. How would one ever know how to connect with all those different cultures? So you have to work on connection. And I want to just say, this is exciting, right? This is great news for everybody. You can get better at connecting. It's like I want you to think of a person from Cusco or from Chiclayo or Piura or donde sea in Peru, and they move to Lima. Okay? And they arrive to Lima and they are in traffic on the Javier Prado, right? Spending hours in traffic, hours and hours. And for them, it might feel complicated and intimidating, and it's going to be challenging, and it's uncomfortable, and it's hot, and this is a new challenging experience for someone who is just moving to the chaos of Lima traffic. Okay? So what does that person need to do? They need to ask directions. They need to ask questions. They need to learn the different bus routes. They need to learn where is the traffic the worst and where is it better? How do I navigate the city better? And little by little, as a person lives in the city and rides different buses and asks questions and directions, they learn how to navigate the city, right? It's not that complicated. The same with connection. Okay, these are simple principles that give you a deeper idea of how to create real connection. Okay, so again, this is about other people, right? This goes beyond words. It requires energy, being intentional, and it's about practicing. It's about honing your skills. This is, again, no one's born doing this. I am not a public speaker. I'm just a guy. I'm just one person. That's all I do. But I try to connect with people. I try to add real value to their lives. Right? So that's all I'm trying to do with you, is just add a little value. I just want you to remember one thing today, not everything. Okay? Let's see. Are we ready? How are we doing? Any questions, comments? Please, I see in the chat, please go ahead and feel free to write any comments or anything that you want. I would also just say this speech, for me, that, you know, I consider this a speech. I'd rather not be talking. I'd rather be listening to all of you, trying to learn something from each one of you. But for me, I'm growing. I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone to practice creating connection. That's what this is about. I said yes because I want to grow. Right? This is good practice. So you can all do the same. You have the power to say yes and go outside of your comfort zone. One piece of advice I could give you is it's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you grow. And when you're comfortable, you don't grow, or very little. It's accidental growth, right? But when you're uncomfortable, oftentimes that's intentional. And that intentional growth will give you so much reward. Okay. And I would just add, this is one of my, you know, out of the principles that I talk about today and the practices for creating connection today, if I can just say one thing, and that is, in leadership, people don't want a perfect leader, right? They want an authentic leader. And let me just repeat that. People don't want a perfect leader. It's time for us to get over ourselves, okay? People want an authentic leader. If you want to impress people, you talk about all your achievements. And if you want to make an impact with people, you talk about your failures. Okay? Being human is complicated. It's hard. And we need each other. We need community to continue growing. It makes life more easier, and it makes it more pleasurable. We should all be so humble to look for people who are smarter than us and better than us and faster and stronger and more experienced, because those are the people we are going to learn from. And we can pass all of what we learn on to others. We can create impact. As future connectors, professional connectors in Peru, you are going to create impact, right? That is the beauty of all of this. So I want you to just think, you know, what is one skill that you have learned during your time studying? What is one thing that you have gotten better at over the last couple of years or the last semester or whatever? You know, tell me something. Think of one thing that is your strength, right? What is it? All right, let's move on. The fifth, the final principle. Are we ready? Connection is made on multiple levels. Okay. The best connectors in the industry, in the world, connect on multiple levels. Okay. This is not just verbal, as I mentioned earlier. Your message, what you're saying, the words you use, it's important. Absolutely, it's important. But even more important is the intellectual connection, the emotional connection that you make, right? Being able to connect with people on an emotional level, not just a verbal level, but capturing their feelings, capturing their interest, right? Captivating them. This is what we need to do. The visual level, you know, being able to really let people see and experience not just your message, right? It's not just save water. It's why are we saving water? What's important about saving water? You know, if there's less rainfall in Lima every year, how is that going to affect the farmers in Peru? How is that going to affect the already arid climates, right? So you need to think about your message and the way you would show a message that you're trying to get across. If you're talking about water conservation in Peru, you can't just put up a sign that says save water. You need to find a way to really connect with people and show the urgency of why, what are the benefits, some visuals, statistics, and facts to create an emotional, a visual, a verbal, an intellectual connection. Okay, this is more than just verbal. Okay, there's a reason that we wear sunglasses. Okay, there's a reason that we turn off the video. Okay, there's these things that help capture the point, our message of what we're trying to say to create real connection. That's what's going to help you. So if you can find a way to really put emotion, create that emotional connection, that shared feelings, right? Those are feelings that are shared. And on an intellectual level, the shared ideas, right? And the visual, what people see. It's so important to make various connections, not just the monotone verbal connection. It's so much more. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anything? Oh, I see here, Abriel. What daily habits have you helped to improve your ability to connect with others as a leader? What habits that us students could practice? Perfect. I love that question. Thank you so much. I'm right now, as we finish these 5 principles, I want to talk to you about 5 practices that we can actually put into our daily lives to help us connect. Okay. Let's see. And just before I do that, I want to read this other question from Corporate Digital. Find it difficult to connect with people who come from a different context than mine, whether professionally or personally. What advice would you give me to improve in this area? Excellent. Thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate that question too. I'm gonna talk about the 5 practices that we can. Shortly, I'll go over these, and then we can get into these questions. And thank you again for the questions. I'm excited. So when we're talking about the practices, number 1, and again, this is, Roxana, this is a great answer to your question as well, just briefly. The number 1 practice for connecting with people: find common ground. Find similarities. What do you have with the people with whom you're speaking? Do you have shared experiences? Do you have shared characteristics, personality? What do you have? Is it your culture? Is it a favorite food? It could be the smallest thing, right? To create a connection. It can be one, and one thing I will just say, and I think this is always the easiest way to make connection and to find common ground. We're all human, right? That's you cannot deny it. We are all human. So you immediately have something in common with every person. Immediately. You don't even have to find common ground because it already exists. And if you can build on top of that, if you can talk about a shared experience or a shared value or a shared perspective, that'll be even better and make that connection even stronger. So I think that's really a really important practice, and helps you establish trust and confidence with someone you're trying to build a relationship with. Okay. Number 2, we'll do these quick. All right. Number 2, the number 2 practice: keep it simple. Keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Right. Do your best to keep your messaging simple. Don't use confusing language. Don't use more words than you need to. Just like this practice, I'm going to keep it simple. I don't think I need to say much more. Okay, be concise, straight to the point, short and sweet. Okay. The third practice, okay, capture people's interest. Again, this is about knowing your audience, who you're trying to connect with. When I was preparing for today, I was thinking about what are these students, what are all these people, what do they have, what do we all have in common, right? What do they want to know that I know? What could I share with them that might add value to them? And I thought, wow, connecting. This is about your communicators. Connecting is going to be the most important. For me in my everyday life, connection is so important when it comes to fundraising for Peruvian Hearts. So I think capturing people's interest, finding a way, show your passion, right? Finding what your talent is and developing it and then giving it away, finding your gift, right? This is about getting people's interest, capturing their interest, keeping them engaged, right? Thank them for the time that they're giving you, right? This is show them you care, right? It's not hard. If you care, it's not hard, right? It's really easy, in fact. I want the fourth idea, the fourth practice, make it an experience, right? Again, make it something that they're not going to forget. Professor Corlett showed me that using sunglasses inside, you can connect with people. Right? You can leave a memory. You can make a mark. I hope that's what I'm doing with you right now. I hope I can show you it's good to be authentic. I didn't put on a suit and tie today. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to add value to you. I'm being myself. I'm being authentic. I wear my hat. I wear a sweatshirt. It's just who I am. I'm me. I'm not anybody special. I'm just me. Right? So the last principle, which I hope I've done for you today, the last practice, inspire people. Try to encourage people. Do you want to know how to tell when someone needs encouragement? It's when they're still alive. If someone is alive, they need encouragement. We're human. We appreciate encouragement. Again, when you go out into the world, be an elevator that lifts people up. Don't bring people down, right? Be a plus in people's life, not a minus, right? That's what this is about. Inspire people. I hope today that I've been able to inspire you, and not just to reflect, but so much so that you take action. Maybe it'll be in your own lives, and maybe you'll share with someone else. But I just want to say thank you so much. And remember the power that you have as communicators to go out and make a real impact in the world by mastering the art of connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Me quedo con dos palabras. Lo voy a decir en español para que sea más fácil. Me quedo con dos palabras. La autenticidad con el ser humano, con el ser, con nosotros como seres humanos, que la conexión requiere energía. Eso me encantó, porque realmente a veces tenemos, no sé si ponerlo así, pero tenemos cierta flojera en hacer cosas extras para poder realmente conectar, especialmente cuando el público o el otro no lo conocemos lo suficiente. Y ahí va mi pregunta. ¿Cuál es la parte más difícil o cuál es la mayor dificultad que tienes cuando tú estás consiguiendo dinero para Peruvian Hearts? ¿Cuál es la forma, digamos, cuál es la etapa más difícil? Puedes contestar en inglés, por favor.
Claro, no, y también en español, normal. Yo diría que la parte más difícil de conseguir fondos es que hay muchas buenísimas causas en el mundo. Y tratando de decir por qué Peruvian Hearts es mejor que otra causa muy importante, ¿cuál será? Es difícil. Entonces yo tengo que, como he dicho más antes, yo tengo que buscar, los intereses de la persona con quien yo estoy tratando de conseguir sus fondos, su plata, right? Y antes de poder preguntar y pedir su inversión en Peruvian Hearts, yo tengo que saber exactamente qué es su querer, qué son sus valores, qué son sus intereses. Y solo cuando ya sé cómo es esa persona, solo ahí tengo que buscar y cómo conecto yo a la educación y empoderamiento de mujeres en el Perú. Right? Y tratando y nuevamente, quizás mi única conexión al inicio es somos seres humanos. Y de ahí tengo que buscar un poquito más conexión. Y también yo diría, no siempre funciona. Hay gente que no conecta. Está bien. No vamos a conectar con todos. Tenemos que aceptar. Pero como ha dicho Madre Teresa, si no puedes alimentar a 100 personas, alimenta solo una. ¿No? Aquí estoy presentando, si yo no conecto con todos conectados ahora, espero que por lo menos pueda conectar con una sola persona y hacer el impacto en la vida de una persona. Para mí es suficiente.
Súper, me encanta. Dices que el talento es algo que se practica. Es algo que se practica, es algo que tiene que ser trabajado. Explícanos un poquito más a qué te refieres y qué tienen que hacer los chicos con eso.
Y realmente quiero clarificar un poquito. Yo creo la conexión es mucho más habilidad aprendido que talento natural. Eso sí es cierto. Y practicando esas prácticas de conectarnos con la otra gente es que necesitamos conectar. El talento, yo sí creo que el talento, la vida, tenemos que buscar nuestro regalo, nuestro talento. Y de ahí, cuando ya encontramos, tenemos que regalarlo al mundo. Este es como siento sobre el talento. Yo siento que también el poder del autoconocimiento. Tenemos que saber qué son nuestras fortalezas y cuáles son nuestras oportunidades. Y nosotros necesitamos enfocarnos más en las fortalezas y en desarrollarlas y seguir en esa área en vez de tratar de ser máster en todo. Right? Las partes, como habla, como se dice, expositor público, como public speaker. No soy. Pero me gusta dar valor a la vida de otras. Entonces, yo no veo eso como public speaking. Yo veo eso como una hora compartido con gente con quien también yo puedo aprender de. Es muy, yo siento que nosotros prefiero estar escuchando a todos ustedes en vez de hablando. Pero hoy día me toca compartir. Eso está bien.
Súper. Acá tenemos otra pregunta de Shirley. What will you say to young people who find it hard to connect with others because they are scared of opening up and being vulnerable?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sorry, my dog. What would you say to young people who find it hard to connect with others because they are scared of opening up and being vulnerable?
Such a great question. Thank you. You know what I would say is that it takes practice and fear. We create fear. Nosotros creamos el miedo en nuestros cerebros. De los 84,000 pensamientos que tenemos al día como ser humano, ¿cuántos de esos pensamientos, 84,000 pensamientos, sirve tu propósito? Right? ¿Cuántos son positivos y cuántos son negativos? Right? El punto es decir más positivo a ti mismo que negativo. Right? Yo también tenía miedo, pero ¿miedo de qué? No había sentido. Estaba inventando el miedo en mi cerebro y dando vida a este pensamiento. Cuando el mejor es reconocer que he creado ese pensamiento y dejo o lo boto. No tengo que dar vida al miedo. Yo soy humano. No soy súper especial, no soy ángel de Dios, nada. Soy humano nomás. Right? Y ustedes son humanos también. Pueden hacer lo mismo. No es un poder súper que tengo, tampoco. Soy auténtico. Right? Y me apasiona servir a los demás.
Súper, te agradezco mucho. Roxana dice, we are vulnerable in one thing or another, so vulnerability is not a bad thing. Súper, eso es creo que los que nos quedamos con eso. Muchísimas gracias, Dani, muchísimas gracias por este espacio, por compartir estas cosas tan sencillas. Yo he visto cómo has estado trabajando tanto por Peruvian Heart y sé lo difícil que es y lo complicado que es y creo que es el reto que tenemos. Los que también hay muchos aquí que trabajan en organizaciones no gubernamentales, así como también trabajan para empresas, para instituciones públicas, etcétera. Entonces, con esta conferencia cerramos la mañana, en la tarde tenemos otras que están organizadas por los chicos de producción de eventos y mañana además tenemos apoyo, consultoría para que va a ser nuestro invitado especial. seguimos con esta Semana WIC. Gracias, Denny. Gracias por compartir, por ser tan tú, por ser tan auténtico y por ser una persona increíble. Y gracias por esta oportunidad y este regalo que nos has dado durante 1 hora. Muchas gracias a todos por participar. Ya te voy a mandar las fotos de todos los salones que se han conectado y te han escuchado hoy día. Muchas gracias a todos. Nos vemos.
Gracias.
Abrazos. Cuídense mucho.
Ánimo, ánimo, ánimo.
Recording stopped.
Gracias. Chao, 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 chao.
Gracias.